Shalom, giving all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Rechak Wadash. Though understood the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. Another day, another wicked agenda exposed from E. So, y'all know how, just this past weekend, you had this overflow in Texas that, it flooded out, a whole town. You had a lot of camping areas that got, flushed out. And a lot of children went missing, a bunch of people, missing. And the death toll is starting to increase. They're finding more bodies. So we knew there had to be more to this. I did in a lesson initially responding to the situation. I believe that Esau was using weather warfare to cause this flooding, because they have geoengineering technology where they can cause artificial rain clouds that can actually cause rain to fall, heavy rainfall at that. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Esau did that and maybe, blew some type of bridge or levee or something nearby that caused this amount of flooding. Because everything that they do it for a reason. All right. So listen to this real quick, and this is all alleged. Okay. But this right up Esau's alley. This is what they do. I'm talking about the globalist. All right. So let's listen to this real quick. This Edomite, he pretty much goes into what they were proposing before this even took place. Now, scriptures tell you how they plot evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. All right, because the power is in their hand to do it. So just pay attention.
Approved $175 million power plant project in Caryville, Texas. This is right by where the flooding happened. Of course, you have the Doge cuts, which may have played a part in the lack of response, lack of preparedness. By the way, has anyone gone to jail from all the stuff they found in the Doge audits? Just a question. And wouldn't it be crazy if the map of rain enhancement projects in Texas seems pretty heavy loaded on the area which had flooding? I guess it'd be kind of crazy if the river rose 42 feet.
And this made me think back to the fires that happened, earlier this year in California. And when you look at a map of all the fires, that was going on, and you compare it to a map of this project that they wanted to have done also in the same areas where they wanted to have like a fast track type of monorail system that'll get you from the Bay Area down to LA in a matter of a few hours or so. The fact that they also want to have the Olympics in LA in 2028. So they needed to change the landscape. It was all part of a land grab, destroying all those homes. And it pretty much would clear the way for them to, start funding these projects to have it completed by a particular time period. So you can look these things up. Now, I believe the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, she was alluding to basically we're going to build back. All right. Everything that we're going to do, we're going to eventually build everything back. What does she mean by that? All these people are in on these events that happen. And is that the exposal of the people? The people in their homes and their property becomes the collateral damage for these initiatives and these projects that they want to carry out. These people are very diabolical, man. They covet fields, they take them by violence. That's what they do. And using weather warfare or using direct energy weapons, that's violence. They did it in South Carolina as well with that hurricane. And I'm pretty sure they had land because there's projects that they want to do. They're trying to, turn basically just like in other parts of the world where you have 15-minute smart cities. That's what they're designing the infrastructure for. A surveilled, AI-controlled, technocratic-ruled society. All right? Under every bit of biometrical technology. So this makes sense to me. All right? But like I said, this is all alleged.
Feet in just 1 to 3 hours, which is unimaginable. Of course, the Christian summer camp was a camp for the elites, children, and that red dot was on the radar all day, the day of the floods. What if I told you the flooding in Texas is yet another land grab, allegedly? By the way, obviously, tragic loss of life, awful stuff. I just want to say that no matter what happened, tragedy, okay? But I guess it'd be kind of crazy if the city council had approved a $175 million power plant project in Caryville, Texas. This is right by where the flooding happened.
So this is what they do. They covered fields and let's go to Micah. Their wickedness no bounds, man. The scriptures talk about they have an evil covetousness. That's exactly what it is, that they have to cut off many people. Like it says in Habakkuk, because you didn't cut off, many people. You didn't shed blood because of the violence of the city. This is why shame is going to cover them. Shameful spewing shall be upon their glory. All right, these nations, they're going to rise up suddenly against thee and say, hey, woe unto you that increase of that which is not his. You're doing this worldwide, man. You're doing it in Gaza. You're doing it everywhere you go. All right? And the world is getting sick and tired of you, man. Let's get Micah. Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even in a man in his heritage. All right? This is what they do. They got to take it forcibly. All right? Then declare a state of emergency. Then pretend to act like they're humanitarians. Swoop in and try to, act like they're going to come with some kind of aid. But you only better accept that aid from them, from FEMA or whoever, one of these agencies. All right? Then we're going to make sure that you don't return back to the site, because the land is no longer yours. It's their land now. And then before you know it, they're doing some new infrastructure building because they already had something in the works while you was already living there. So this is what they do. Proverbs 24 and verse 8. And it says, he that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. And they imagine mischief. Okay. So Psalm 36. Where is it at? I think it's Proverbs 4 and 16. Yep. Proverbs 4 and 16, it says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief. They never get any sleep. All right. They do not get any sleep. All right. Just, knowing, that they're just going to succeed, and, how much blood that's going to be shed, it keeps them up at night. All right. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. All right. And all these different operations being carried out, you know, it's centered around wickedness, and you know, they're doing it in a violent manner. Okay. So they can either use weather warfare, or they can actually just do to you what they're doing to the Palestinians if they want a plot of land. All right. It's all the same to them. So this is being exposed. And it also made me think too, because somebody left a comment on a video that I did initially about this story in Texas, how this is no different than Esau when he went into our land. Now, he didn't just, because they didn't have the weather geoengineering technology back then, but you know, we was prey at the time. So they would go into these towns where Jake lived and had their own communities going, and they would you know, try to run us out, or you know, put us to death. They would send mobs into the cities, and what they would do is they would, after they got us up out of there, they would actually put those towns that Jake lived in underwater and turn them into lakes. We ain't forget about that. Let's hold up. Bear with me real quick. And there's several, you know, pieces on this dealing with the history, the evil history of flooding black towns. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make it short. Let's go to duration time, under 4 minutes. All right, let's we'll look at this one.
In drowning or boating accidents on Lake Lanier this year, including a father and son. Charged with responding to all of those calls are divers with the local fire department.
They're the same devil, man. Same devil causing all this mischief. Now you seeing that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. Now he's willing to do these things to his own. All right, but centuries ago he was doing it to Jake. So they can flood you out, get you up out of there, flood you out for a different purpose.
11 Alive's Caitlin Ross shows you what they deal with under the surface of Lake Lanier. It's dangerous and deadly environment.
Clear and calm on the surface, Lake Lanier is anything but.
You can get yourself in trouble really quickly.
Lanier was built in the 1950s to provide drinking water and hydroelectric power for Atlanta. Recreation was an afterthought.
As they were building the lake, they raised the water level up to a certain point well below what we know of today as full pool, and then stopped filling the water.
From there, construction crews floated on the lake, cutting off the trees about halfway.
So today, those stumps are still there, and they're tall because this was forest land and farmland.
Also beneath the surface, old homes, barns, even a racetrack, which famously surfaced during the 2007 drought. You could see the tops of the stands, a haunted memory, waiting for spectators to show up for the next race. It's all good now, but when the next drought comes...
When that does, everyone needs to use extreme caution on the lake.
The Forsyth or Hall County dive teams respond to every rescue and recovery call.
Generally, within the first hour, we're in what we call rescue mode. We're hoping that we can rescue someone.
No, I don't want to lose a diver.
Divers deal with frigid temperatures, near zero visibility, and all of those underwater hazards.
The bridges are like the trash bin for anyone traveling down the roads. They blew the old bridges in place, so you have concrete, rebar.
The divers work in teams, One person in the water and the other on the shore. They're tethered together by a rope and communicate by tugs on the rope. Divers say they never know what they're going to find.
It's bad enough that you got a loss of life, but you see their grieving family. And that's really why we do this. I couldn't imagine as a father, as a brother, as a son, to see one of my loved ones disappear and have to go by this lake every day and just wonder. That, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Yeah, this is what they did to Jake. This is all this is all part of the history of Babylon. And you wonder why, Babylon is cursed. All right. Is this another one? Because this happened several times, man. This throughout several so-called communities throughout Babylon. Just another black town, so-called town inhabited by Jake.
Lake Altus had its beginnings in 1927, when the city of Altus dammed the North Fork of the Red River to create a municipal water supply. Construction began on a...
Hold up, Salaki, let me...
These communities disappeared from the map, completely erased from history. You may ask, how is that even...
Hey, y'all. Do y'all know about the black towns that were submerged underwater, disappeared from the country? Do you know about it?
These communities.
Nope. So we have history, all right, where these things happen to us. So what's happening to them down in Texas? Hey, it ain't nothing new to Jake. All right, it's a tragedy, but hey, this is what's been done to us. All right, so now them Edomite Christians down there. Hey, this is Luke. So I said Luke. Lamentation 1 and 21. It says, "They have heard that I sigh. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. They rejoiced over what happened to us in this society, man." Right? It says, "Thou wilt bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me." So a lot of evil is starting to return back on Esau in these last days. Now they got to drink of the cup that we had a shortly drunken. It says, "Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me, for all my transgressions, for my sides are many, and my heart is faint." So now Esau, now you got to drink of the cup. Lamentation 4 and 21, it says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins." And this is, that shameful past, like it says in Obadiah, "Because of thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee." All right. So Esau, using weather warfare in these towns where a lot of Edomites dwell, and causing these Edomites to lose their homes, loss of life, deaths. And then for the government to go ahead and do what they will with it. That's what they've been doing to Jake towns. All right. Seneca Village. That's now Central Park. So he's been doing these things, man. So that's why I wouldn't put it past him using geoengineered weather to flood that place out. Because he already has something going on right there. All right. It's the same devil, man. He ain't changed. So, yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, it's, this is all part of the judgment anyway. The Lord, he's going to continue his work on Babylon, man. Look, it's going to be more devastation. Have there been, Has there been any evil done in the city and what in the Lord that what? Let me just go to it. Let me just go to it. Amos 3:6, and it says, "Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people will not be afraid? Shall there be evil, disaster in a city, and the Lord have not done it?" Yeah, man. And that's why, like it says in Psalm 17, "Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." All these different, all this different technology is really instrumentation for violence for him. He weaponizes everything that he touches. So if you want to, if there's a plot of land that he want, if he doesn't just, cause a revolution there, funding some rebels and putting guns in their hands to topple their government or their regime, and send troops, then he'll just use weather warfare against you. He'll send some, cause some flooding or cause a bad earthquake using the harp, and then that's how he'll get your land from you. So yeah, this man, he's doing the most, but hey, he's bringing the world down with him. That's all he's doing. Psalm 10:16. So like at 15, and it says, "Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, seek out his wickedness till thou find none." And hey, every day he's constantly being exposed. All right, how the hidden things that Esau sought up. Hey, we're in the information age, so things are getting found out a lot quicker. It's either that or they tell on themselves. Their own tongues falling upon themselves. So, yeah, there's just more mischief. Okay. So, anyway, with that, I'm gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, and until the next one, Shalom.